Jeez, it's gonna be very close. Ooh, okay, never mind. We got something here. It's gonna be very, very close, actually, the more that I think about this. It's gonna be extremely fucking close. Oh wait! Oh, shit. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm going the other way. I completely forgot. I think when we complete one of the challenges, we get a max ammo. And I have all of the challenges completed, so I think I should be fine. I don't know which one it is, though. Oh, fuck me. Which one is it? Oh, that is a good question. Which one is it? Which one is it? Oh, I could just search it up real quick. I could do the smart thing and search it up real quick, but I'm lazy. Alright, I think it's the... It's not the one... It's not the... Oh, shit. Not the headshot one.
I can barely move in this mud.
Is it the headshot one? Fuck, which one is it? Well, we're about to find out. I got it right!
Get out of my way. Much to do.
I got it right! Okay, cool! Okay, we're gonna have to make a slow push back. Very slow push. Alright, run. Make a turn. That's fine. Keep hitting my shield. It's all good. Alright. Oh, we're gonna have to be very careful. Oh, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe they're not spawning there anymore. Oh, yes! Oh my god, it's done. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, man. That was... Ugh. Now watch when I go hit this thing, it's gonna give me a power vacuum. It's gonna give me a power vacuum. I knew it. I fucking... You know what? Fuck it. We'll do one more. We'll do one more round. I finished getting to round 100 on Origins, and it was one of the most boring round 100s I can say I have done so far. That's not to say that the map is bad, it definitely isn't. It's one of the most influential maps and is defined in zombies culture, and I would even like to stress that it's also defined in the culture of gaming, because when people think of COD Zombies, they're going to think of Mob of the Dead, Origins, Kino, Noct. They're going to think of all of the bangers. They're going to think of all of the fucking good maps that they have released and came out with. I wanted to make a series that pays tribute to zombies as a whole, since it's one of the more influential game modes I have played during my younger years. And I say that even though I'm only 22 years old, and I feel like I'm like 45. I really only have 3 main points that I want to go over when I go through these maps, which there's a lot of them. There's a lot of these fucking maps. And I'm going to be playing through all of them, getting around 100, and possibly trying to do the Easter egg solo if I can. And yeah, that's really it when it kind of comes to those. But at the end of it though, I want to give my own personal ranking of them and how I felt about the map. The 3 main points though, they're going to be about the atmosphere / the aesthetic of the map, the gameplay of the map, and really just the difficulty of the map, of like how difficult is it to get set up, how difficult is it to do the Easter egg, and just how difficult is it to get high rounds. And I feel like those are pretty good points to go over, because I feel like that actually will help out during my rankings and maybe give context as to why I might rank a map higher than what other people would rank it, or maybe rank a map lower than what other people would rank it. I just want to come out and say that Origins is an amazing map. It truly does deserve the credit that everyone gets it, and it truly does deserve the rankings that people do give it. I understand why people do it though, because it's one of the more accessible maps. And I say accessible because it really just tells you what you need to do. If you want to build a staff, it doesn't really try to hide it from you. I mean, you could say that it does with the ice staff possibly, but to be honest with you, it really just tells you, and by just how the gameplay is and just how the game just works with it, how to build the staffs and how to upgrade the staffs, and it is pretty straightforward in terms of like everything that you can do in the map. Now this could just be because I've played the map so much and I've played zombies so much that I can look out for these things or whatever, but it does really just tell you how to do all of these things indirectly, and you can just end up knowing how to do it without really needing guides and without really needing to, as long as you just have like somewhat of a know-how of like how maps, like how zombie maps work and stuff like that in Call of Duty, you can really just figure it out super easily. But again, I will say it could just be because I've played zombies so much and I just kind of know how Treyarch does their maps and stuff like that, but most maps in the future don't really do what Origins do by indirectly showing you how certain things like work. Like for an example, when it's snowing, it's basically indirectly telling you that the ice staff can be collected, and if you aren't already like digging for things, or you are digging for things and you find an ice staff part, it basically is like, oh, I can go around to the entire map and start digging to find more ice staff parts. And I feel like that's like a really good point, because again, it's indirectly telling you, hey, you gotta get the ice staff now or whatever. Or you don't have to, but I mean, if you want to go for high rounds, you need it. And also, if you want to do the Easter egg, you do need it. Or if you want it, you need to do it. And also, what I think is kind of nice too, is another thing that I can say is the fire staff. The fire staff, you will more than likely only get one of the parts by killing the Panzer when it first spawns. And then you're like, oh, okay, as long as I basically sit there and keep playing the map, I'll find more fire staff parts. And then you look up in the sky because you're like, oh wow, this map looks really cool, and you see the fire plane, well, the plane that holds the fire staff part, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Why is that plane like glowing? And so you shoot at it, because what else are you gonna fucking do? You shoot at it, and another piece of the fire staff comes down. You're like, okay, that's cool. And then even while you're also going around and getting all of the generators and stuff like that, you then get the final piece to the fire staff. I keep mixing ice and fire together. I don't know why, but you get the final piece to it, and you're like, oh, all right, that's cool. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, while the game is indirectly telling you what you need to do, it also is basically in a way rewarding you for basically making progress either with the Easter egg or just the map in general. And while I want to say it's a shame that most maps don't do what Origins do, I also really want to say it's actually a good thing that most maps in the future don't do what Origins does, because then everyone would basically just say, oh, it's another Origins. much like how I kind of want to make a point right here, is Horizon Drag, even though it shares a lot in common with Origins that a lot of people would say, it doesn't really have that like indirectly, directly telling you how to do the bows and how to do any of that stuff. It really just more or less follows a, I have to do a bunch of random shit in order to fucking figure this map out. And I will explain that whenever I actually get to that map, but just for right now, that's what I'm just gonna say. But to end that point though, it really does put Origins in its own league in a sense. Now, the detail of this map, along with the atmosphere of it, I think is what really makes Origins Origins. And already off the bat, I just want to point out 3 big things that are moving constantly inside of like the map, or outside of the map, even though I'm thinking of inside because I've been stuck inside a fire for the past like 4.5 hours trying to get a fucking round 100. It's the giant fucking robots that just walk and create noise and cause many earthquakes whenever they walk around and stuff like that, and it adds to the map so well because it's like, it is a battlefield. It is a battlefield in World War I, and these people, before you actually even started playing in the map in general, you know, opening up Agartha and everything like that, they were fighting, and they were trying to find stuff, and they found this, like, tomb, in a sense, where it showed 4 people, which would be, I believe, Primus, if my memory is correct, of Takeo, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Richtofen, all each holding their own respective staff. And, you know, now they're trying to figure out how to get these staffs in order to possibly get a leg up in front of people in whatever battle is even being fought during World War I. And even though it could just be very wrong with what I just said, it still is nice to know that I'm able to piece together somewhat of like a mini story, whilst we're also trying to uncover the major story and outside of all of zombies. Because I think without that, you wouldn't really have zombies. Like, you wouldn't have the storyline if in your head you are subconsciously, you know, trying to like piece together connections and stuff like that. Because to me, when it kind of comes to a map, I like to think of what was happening before all of this happened and what was going on before like we started fighting all of these zombies and alternate universes and stuff like that. Like, that is one thing I really like about a lot of these zombie maps, because I don't know, to me, I just really love having, like, making a connection to somehow what once was is now what it is today, if that even makes any sense. I think one thing I really want to put out right now before I even continue on is the reason why I say atmosphere and aesthetic is because I'm a whore for that. I just want to say that out right now is like I love the design of a lot of these maps, and I think that's what keeps me playing, and that's what like keeps me so interested, because to me, this isn't like a flex or anything like that, but I have so many awesome ideas for like so many like cool custom maps and stuff like that, or whatever, or like whatever map, like whatever I can make even better in like certain maps or whatever, like to kind of have like a bit of like, you know, more life to it or whatever, just more to it than what I really, you know, what is presented to me, if that makes any sense. Like, because to me, I don't know, it's just, I love it. That's the best way that I can. I just love the way that all of these maps look, and I can have an appreciation towards the design and the detail that all of those people have put into it. It's just something that I love, and that's one of the main things I love about video games is just like the design to things and the details of things and just everything about it. Like that is just one thing I love. It's one thing I really wanted to say. It's probably this is probably one of the few times I'm ever gonna like go off a tangent or anything like that, but that's just something I really wanted to say. Now, it could be because I enjoy like foggy weather and like cold and everything like that, because to me, when I think of something that's super comfortable, I think of like fogginess, rain, snow, more, I guess, like in a better way, like I like it when things aren't like so active and alive or whatever, if that makes any sense. I love the winter. I love wintertime, and Origins to me, I think, really does encapsulate, like, you're in a war zone, and it's raining, snowing, and it's cold, it's foggy, it's just, it's great. And including with the color palette that they've chose, even though necessarily when you kind of look at it, you can tell that they mainly just kind of went hard on like a blue-gray in a way or whatever, but it still has so much color in certain areas, like down in like the tomb area, as I call it. Like there's so much vibrancy in like certain colors, like the purple and red and yellow, and like even in the blue, and even when you open up the portals to them too, like they're so colorful. And then you go into Agartha or the crazy place, there's just so much color. It's it's in your face. It's so great. And even though, like I just said, in the outside of area, when you look at it, there even still is like certain colors, like I believe like when the generators are up or whatever, there's like purple lightning and stuff like that on them or whatever. They really went hard on like how color works on this map, and I think that's another really good point that makes this map so strong. Now, I could sit there and talk for hours on end of just detail of the map and like the little things that you can notice about it and just how good it just is put together and just made to just make the map and just how fun it makes it. Because to be honest with you, aesthetic and atmosphere is so important on how fun it makes a map. But I don't think anybody really wants that, so I'm just going to go ahead and go into the last point here, which is difficulty. And I'm just going to outright say it, this map is not hard. If anybody says this map is hard, they're completely lying to you, and either they're just bad at zombies. And that's going to be the one time I think I'm actually going to have to sit there and gatekeep, because this map is not hard. Even as a first time going around it, I have very vivid memories of it. I was able to get at least 2 of the staffs by myself done the first time playing it, and it's really not that hard. And I was doing that on BO2, which you could say is a harder version of zombies, because there's no 3-hit, there is no gobble gums or anything like that. There's none of that. It's just more of a base version of zombies. Even like setting up and even doing the Easter egg, well, setting up for high rounds and doing the Easter egg is also so easy. I think the hard part is almost not wanting to fall asleep when you're going for around 100. Like, to me, I feel like that's the hardest part, is not getting a headache and wanting to stop because you've seen the same thing for like hours on end, or just you're getting so tired of it, your eyes are like falling asleep on you or whatever, because you're just sitting in a corner and killing zombies with the fucking ice staff for like 4 hours, or you get bored doing the Easter egg, which if you get bored during the Easter egg, there's something wrong with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, because this Easter egg is like one of the more funner ones to do. Now, bad grammar aside, I think the last thing I really want to say is if you ever actually decide to play Origins and you want to go for the high round, just be prepared to kind of have it be boring. Now, again, that is my own like outlook on it, because sitting there for 4 hours seeing the same thing in a very dark area, it kind of gets to you. But if you're going to do the Easter egg, I strongly recommend you play it with friends, even if you're going to be doing it for the first time. If you already have some friends that have done it already or whatever, or you are going in a group that's doing it for the first time, you're going to have one of the greatest experiences ever playing this map, especially if you're going for the Easter egg. Just make sure you call dibs on your fucking staff first, or else you're going to get fucked over like I did. Oh, sorry, and the ranking that I want to give this map is obviously, I don't really want to say, Jesus Christ, how am I going to really do this? I don't know if I want to do the tier list, because, fuck it, I'll do the tier list. Honestly, this is definitely an S tier map. It's definitely S tier. For high rounds, though, A. And my only reason for is because it's just boring. Doing the high round is so boring, and I don't know if there's any other way. I'll want to try that, and if I do that and I actually get it successfully done, then I might bump it back up to S tier for high rounding. But just in a general sense for the game, it's an S tier.